We are live. What is up? What is going on, lady? We are here. This is day two of a phenomenal conversation, right? We want to talk about this idea of, are you AI ready? Are you making your people AI ready, or will they be AI obsolete? And together, we're gonna have a conversation around these topics that are near and dear to our heart. And it's my pleasure to introduce you guys to Dr. Ebony McClinton, who is here from Humanity, and AI is in it because we want to keep humanity into the AI. We don't want to get to that place where we forget about the people. What's going on? How you doing, Doc?
Good afternoon. Well, good morning for my Eastern timers, where we're going into the afternoon. I'm so excited. I think it is such a joy that we get to have these types of conversations, Dwayne, because as you stated, this is a passion for the both of us to talk about AI readiness. And what we hope to do is to make sure that, our future world is also AI ready along with us. And so I'm so excited to be here. Looking forward for what's to come out of this conversation.
Yeah, you said it, right? Future, right? We want to get people future ready, and the fact is, future is now.
Now,
We
right now,
are right now. Right? What to say? Uncle would say,
right
right now,
now.
right now. The fact is, we are seeing numbers like never before, and we understand that because in every revolution, there's a major change, and in every major change, people fear first before they figure out the facts, and then they figure out, okay, what's my next move, right? And so you and I, we had a conversation around this because we saw Accenture had laid off thousands of people. Then we saw another organization that we thought is a staple laying off thousands of people. And then every time you turn on the news, you hear people losing, right? Leaving, letting go. And we were like, wait a minute. And so we started thinking about this, and Dr. Ebony and I had this conversation, but what if we don't let the people go, but we hold on to them? Why do you think we should do that, Dr. Ebony? What drove that part of our conversation?
Dwayne, I'm so glad we had the conversation because it's enlightening. Every day, as you stated, we're watching on the news these large companies that we are so used to in the past not letting go of their employees are making announcements that unfortunately they soon will be, or if they haven't already, they will be restructuring their workforce and letting go thousands of individuals, right? And so, in our conversation, a few things that came out of it was, when we think about, the days from our past, we've always been told the biggest asset to an employer is the employee, right? Biggest asset. And we also know how important and how much of an investment it is for each employee at an organization. So as I'm watching these news announcements, I'm coming in my head, my theory is this is the easy route for a lot of these companies to, restructure and let go of thousands of individuals. But at the same time, you've made an investment with those employees, right? To lose them, you're losing out on that investment. So why not keep those employees? These individuals are a part of your culture. They're ingrained in your culture. They know your organizational values. They're stewards of your organization. Get them ready, as we stated, future ready for success to be AI ready. It is so much easier to upskill your talent and bring in the likes of ourselves, right? AI consultants to help you with that, as opposed to just completely letting go of thousands of employees on a whim, right? And losing out on that investment of individuals that are knowledge bases to your organization.
I
What are
love
your
it. I love it. Knowledge bases to your organization. And you said this other word that I think that people need to hear again, stewards, right? People who join organizations, right? Remember, people hire people. And because they hire people, the people come in and then they find a space. They say, this is my place, right? And then they start giving themselves to it. They give it to the work, they give it to the culture, they give it to the future. And here's an interesting thing, that here we are going into the future, and the future saying we want to leave you behind. And I think when you do that, that institutional knowledge, some of those little quirks, some of those little things about whatever department that you work in that you really know, that gets lost when you change it over to somebody brand new, number one. And brand new, number two, a lot of them don't have the buy-in. They didn't have a stewardship of the work. They didn't have a heartfelt, engagement with it. Now, there are some people that just come to work and go home, right? That we're not talking about them. We're talking to people that you just said invested, right? You invested in hiring them. You spent thousands and thousands of dollars to put them on play, to actually put them into the position that they have. HR has done all the work. They've put training hours and all this stuff. And now you're saying, hey, we're just going to kind of discard you. And like you said, I think it is a whim when they haven't taken the time to really do the full digging. We found that companies had made this big shift back 3, 4, 5 months ago, and now they're struggling because they don't have anybody that actually knows the work. They have new people who know what the job description says, but as far as the work, that's what we want to do. Even in the government, there are people in the government that really want to move forward, but the government's hands are tied, right? They make a decision. So I love this thing. I saw an article today, and it was how you know Apple is making a decision with their sales force, right? And they're taking out the people who work with these large enterprise type opportunities, like laptops for the school, or laptops for the government, or cell phones for the team, cell phones for all of the staff. And what's happened is they're shifting this, and the idea they're going to shift it to third party resellers. We talked before we came into, when we was in the green room. What did you think about this whole idea of moving it to a third party that's not also built into or bought into the culture, the dynamic of that company?
Yeah, Dwayne, such it's unfortunate times that we're in, but at the same time, fortunate times, right? We know the power of AI and we know that we're moving at the speed of AI. And I know that companies see this and they hear this as well, but I would ask a company to just pause for a moment when they're having to make these decisions, Dwayne.
Take a breath.
Yeah, take a breath and actually really assess, is this the right move at this time, right? Are there other ways that we can actually retain this talent, reshape them, right? Get them ready, so that we can keep our workforce pretty much where it was. I think a lot of organizations would really do well to have the conversations with the likes of an AI certified consultant so they can really share with them, hey, you probably have the right talent right here with you, right now.
Yes.
You have the right talent in the right seats. Are you utilizing them correctly, though? That's what we need to ask, right? Have you ensured that this talent is capable? Are they AI fluent, right? We talked the last time that we met, Dwayne, about AI fluency. It's gone are the days of just pushing out a training, right? Saying, hey, go
Right.
attend a 3-hour workshop. Those days are gone.
Gone.
Think about AI. AI is changing every day. Are you ensuring that your organization, that your talent is getting prepared to upskill themselves in AI, giving them micro trainings that they can utilize and start to learn and start to apply? It's the application piece that is super important. And I think that a lot of organizations, they're just looking for something quick, right? Something
A
quick
quick
to
fix. It's going to save
fix
us
to
thousands,
mitigate.
millions of dollars, and it's
Right.
not really saving the million.
And it's really, at the end of the day, take a pause, take a moment, and really get your team, get your talent ready for this future ready workforce by introducing to them AI, giving them different platforms that they can play around with, right? Me and you know well that with AI, it's not about learning, right? Going to a training and watching someone doing it.
Yeah.
It is about actually doing it yourself.
30,
The
right?
application piece is
Mhm.
so critical. So my concern with our future state of our businesses when they're making these types of decisions is we're going to have workforces that they're going to miss that interpersonal dynamic. They're not going to understand the culture. Organizations are probably going to come back later and say, wow, I'm having to spend more money
Yep.
to get these individuals trained and up to speed when I really should have just kept the talent that we had. So it is an alarming situation that we're in. Do I think, Dwayne, that there are remedies? I do. I really believe, and I'd love your insight on this, that organizations should take the time to pause, assess, and really consult with AI consultants when they're having to make these types of decisions, if it's in the world of, making a decision based upon AI readiness.
Yeah, I love it. And if you want to comment, you can comment. The comments are
Please do.
on. You guys, if you see it, you can just put a comment. It'll come through. But listen, here's the thing. We are at a precipice, right? We're at this, I would like actually say a crossroads. We're crossroads, right? There's this crossroads. There's a book out that's called The Crossroads Between Should and Must. There are some things that we should do. Yes, definitely. But there's some things that we must do in order to secure for our future. Now we're going global. We're global, right? We can't compete just here in the United States. We have to compete globally. And to compete globally, we have to future ready. We have to get people in that space of literacy. And so when we talk about future ready, we talk about, making sure people understand how to use these tools. A certified, accredited consultant, as we are, can come in and make those, help make those shifts, because it's the everyday user that we need to touch base with. We're not talking about just your development team.
Right.
Some of you have invested thousands and millions of dollars on your IT services that now you can have somebody just push a button and create a minimal viable product of that particular thing and get it moving into the hands of the consumer. Before you know it, now you have the development team. Imagine how much money is saved just in that alone. And then when we talk about this idea of uncertainty, who wants to walk around not sure if tomorrow they have a job, right? So there's some stuff happening now where companies are announcing these things publicly, and the people don't know what day is happening, when it's going to happen, or something. So let's just roll it back to leadership, right? If I'm going to be a great leader, wouldn't it be awesome that if I did let go people, I let go people who have been given the tools to go and work somewhere else, as opposed to just kicking people out and then bringing in new people? We always say in the AI world, AI is not going to replace your job, right, Dr. Ebony? It's not, right? It's the people who know how to leverage AI that's going to come in and do that. But if we teach them how to leverage while they're inside the company, give them a trainer, something that they can hold on to internally, we don't have to stay there with them. We could just be on the outside coming in here and there. But it's crazy to have somebody fly in, tell these people all this stuff, and then they fly out, and now people don't have a way to really, really take that information and execute it. You said it, application, right? What we're talking about is helping people apply the knowledge, apply the information so that they can help move that bottom line to where it needs to be. So let's talk about this idea of an assessment, right? Because you have a tool that will help them actually even figure this out. Why is that something important? And tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so the tool that you're referencing is my AIQ framework, and it has an assessment built into it. And so it's all about, if you remember from our last conversation, we talked about, when we take clarity and we take competency/confidence and bring those two together, that's when we're going to have our wins. And so the reason this tool was created was to help organizations really understand who is confident in regards to AI in your organization. Where are they at? Where do they stand? So it's like a battery, this assessment, if you will, it's a battery test to say, this is where you are, right? And the good thing about this assessment, this AIQ assessment, Dwayne, is it doesn't just give you where you stand today in regards to your AI competency, but it also from there gives you guidance as to what you can do to build that muscle to be future ready for your organization. Because we know, just like anybody else, employees want to stay. They don't want to leave, right? Like you said a few moments ago, we're seeing the announcements before the announcements are already being made, and people are walking around on eggshells, right? So if individuals could have access to an assessment such as the AIQ assessment, take that assessment, they could be able to say, hey, this is where I am right here, in regards to where I stand as being AI fluent. I can be a resource organization, right? Please don't let me go. I want to stay here.
I want to stay.
I enjoy.
I love this company. I've invested. I'm my heart, my soul, my family. Even we went to the family gatherings that we've been having. Right? You got the holidays coming. A lot of these companies had holidays coming. That type of stuff. So yeah, I've been in that situation. I don't. And I'm probably dating myself. If you guys know Douglas Aircraft Company, They had made their fourth quarter projections, and it was like, we're going to be good into 2020. It was like in the 90s. That was like 90, actually 1990. And everybody was excited. And then within 6 months, 5 months later, we were all getting laid off. 15,000 people laid off. And we got laid off on the 14th of December, right before Christmas. And we didn't get a bonus because they would usually pay a bonus based on the annual year profits. No bonus. So it made us feel like nobody cared about us, right?
Sure.
I think they have an opportunity today. Leaders have an opportunity today to show that they care. What do you think about that part of it? Because we also want to remember that we get into the heart, right? The humanity of our people. So how does that even work into what you said as far as, having an assessment, getting them prepared and seeing where they are, to go somewhere, I got to know where I'm at first before I can start taking off, right?
Yeah, I firmly believe that successful organizations, if they do not build in that humanity first mindset, they're not going to continue to be a successful organization, Dwayne. I firmly believe that. Individuals, employees are they come in with that human element, right, from their own experiences. They're looking for their employers to give back to them. They're looking for them to be compassionate. They're looking for them to be empathic. They're looking for them to be understanding, right? And so when we hear of these organizations that are on a whim, just letting individuals go, we know the sentiment behind the scenes from those employees who were impacted was the opposite of what I just stated. They were not thinking about us first, right? The people first mindset. Instead, they were thinking about themselves. There wasn't a conversation had with me as to how I could possibly help support what was going on and help drive the change and be a change maker for my organization. And so I think it's so important that organizations understand that, yes, decisions need to be made, but at the same time, think about it from the lens of your employees. Think about those people first. Things will over time become successful for you if you just take a moment to pause and add in that element as to how you can support your employees. We talk about burnout culture as well, Dwayne, right?
Yes,
That is
yes, yes. Oh my
huge right
gosh. You
now.
talk about how much money people are like walking around like zombies, right? They walking around not feeling good, not connected anymore, just like overwhelmed. And some people, have to do 3 jobs for somebody that just left, or their whole department got dismantled. I happen to be in that situation where my entire department from 49 people to 0. And it was like, oh my God, who I am, who
My
am I?
goodness, right.
Yeah,
And it's scary
what's my
time.
value? Yeah,
Exactly. People have no idea. And unfortunately, those types of dynamics, that burnout culture adds to additional cost increases for organizations. Your
yeah.
insurance are having to be
Calling
increased.
out sick.
Exactly. Half of your staff is out sick or looking for ways to take some leave off, right? So it is so important to just do an assessment, a culture assessment, if you will, of your organization to figure out where are they, understand, have conversations with individuals. What are some of the things that we could do to help to make you feel better, to make you have that trust in your organization that you've come to, a lot of us have worked in organizations 10, 15, 20 years. So, well, what made you stay at the 10-year mark, right, Dwayne? What about the
Yeah,
15-year mark? Have those
yeah.
conversations. This will help mitigate that burnout culture. It will help mitigate the rising costs. It will then help over time us seeing these announcements of said organization is about to lay off X and X amount of employees because, they think that's the right investment for their organization. Keep
Yeah.
your talent, prevent them from going through this burnout phase that individuals are experiencing right now by having the right individuals employed at the right time to get your talent future ready. It is so important. Really, this is the best way to invest in your talent, by keeping your talent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm smiling because I felt that just now what you said. Keep your people, help them, and give them, undergird them, give them the foundations that they need, right? And then again, when you find out where they are, you might have some champions internally. I decided years ago, 2017, to get involved with AI. So I've been an AI champion inside my organization from then. And it wasn't ChatGPT. There was none of that, right? But the fact was, I said, you know what? I'm gonna be a subject matter expert regardless. And then I'm gonna wait for the opportunity. As soon as the opportunity presented itself, I put myself in. And that's how I was able to work with Microsoft. Microsoft invited me to Virginia to their office to actually learn from the people how to make this work, right? Copilot, how you can now use agents and things of this nature. It was phenomenal, right? Then I was like, oh, here's this Carasoft, which is a government agency that had all kind of contracts, and they invited me to OpenAI. I get to do a 3-minute presentation. Why? I say that because as a internal person of this organization, I already am invested. You
Already.
have loyalty with me, right? You ask me what makes you stay after 5. What after 3 days? Sometimes you was like, listen, this was cool. I appreciate the date, but I got to go. Right? It's like it's not happening. So it's like when we get into these environments and we start making connections with people that we haven't been with, and then we build a bond, and we know we have a culture that works. We have an organization that works. Don't break it. Don't break their hearts. Don't break their hearts, leaders. Figure out how to connect with them. Don't let them be a line item in your budget. That is difficult for people to even move from to another organization. They're broken when they show up because they felt like, yo, nobody cared. So, as we prepare to start moving toward landing the plane, Dr. Ebony,
Already?
yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? The fact is, this is our lunchtime. We decided to dedicate our lunch to this conversation. And thank you, Emmanuel, for putting a comment. Emmanuel put a comment. He said, hey, great conversation, right? That is so awesome. We know it's working out there, Dr. Ebony. Somebody making a comment. But
Thank you
we
so
really
much.
want to hear from you. This conversation is not just ours. Over the next week, we know we had the holiday, so we're not going to meet this Thursday. But next week, Tuesday, we come back with part 3, and it's the final part of our 3-part series. And listen, if you want to touch base with Dr. Ebony and you really want to kind of, talk more outside of this conversation, all you got to do is reach out. And I'm going to put her information up so you guys can get that. And tell them about your website and what they what they'll see when they get to Humanity First.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. I appreciate it. So, and I did want to also say it's on Wednesday. Actually, we're meeting on
Yes,
the
right.
3rd. Yeah,
Wednesday the
so Wednesday
3rd.
the 3rd.
We decided Wednesday
And
the 3rd.
so, with
Thank you
that
for
said,
that.
absolutely, with Humanity First, I so adore how I came upon the name of Humanity First. For me personally, right, just thinking about my own values, my own mission, I am driven by making sure that human experience, the human element exists in everything that I do. And so as I was over the time thinking about creating my business and thinking about my background of learning and development and going into organizations to help them retain their talent, which is what we're having this conversation on today, how can I do that from the lens of AI? And so if you notice on the spelling of the name Humanity, there's a intentional play on the words AI there. And so I intentionally spelled it HUMAINITY for that exact reason.
And
I
y'all, I
want
was saying it all wrong. I was like, did I say it wrong? She's like, no, you're saying it right. You're
You're
saying it
saying
right.
it right. It's an intentional play on words. I want organizations to know that when I come into their organization, we're here to help you retain your talent, but we're going to utilize AI to do so. We're going to bring in those platforms, those tools. We're going to help you streamline so you can keep your talent. It is so important. We also can talk about how you can be that change agent, how you can be that culture transformer for your organization by building in the culture aspect of it, right? If that's lost, because I get it, I completely understand. You said it earlier. Right now, so many organizations are focused on the bottom line and everything is about that budget, right? Where they are looking at those numbers. How can we ensure we keep that humanity first part there, right? Let's focus on that. And if we can focus on that, bring in things such as that AIQ framework and that assessment, you can really see you have the bench strength right now. It is your job, organization, to keep your people first, give them the tools that they need, give them the time that they need to be brought up to speed. And trust me, you're going to see wins and gains beyond leaps and bounds, beyond leaps and bounds.
Yeah, and that's how we even had this conversation, right? We started talking about what we were doing in our lives, and we came across this thought and it was like, yo, I'm sharing that, you're sharing that. Why don't we get together and do something?
Absolutely.
And a lot of times people say that, right? Somebody ought to do something. Well, guess what? We were the somebodies. We
Yeah.
decided to do something. And
Here we
so
are.
here we are. And so for you guys watching, for you guys listening, watching on the replay, this is simulcast, not just on LinkedIn, but it's over on YouTube, it's over on Instagram, it's over on Facebook. It'll be available by recording. Over the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing the recording kind of go back again, rebroadcast, that type of thing. And then we're going to kind of regroup and come back together and see where we go from here. But, I want you to really take a pause. Let's just take a pause real quick and see how long that takes, right? Everybody take a breath. Just hold it for a second. Now let it out. That's all we're asking.
That's it.
Take a pause. Look around at who your real people are. Think about where you want to be in this next 3 months because it's going so fast. Right?
Yeah.
3 months to 6 months and the whole thing has changed. We're in the agentic era where everything's agent. And I saw a really crazy number. 1.3 billion agents will be deployed by 2028. 1.3 billion
That
was the
is
number given.
astronomical. Wow.
Astronomical. Doing the work of people. So we got to help them slow that number down, number one. Number two, whoever's in front of that number needs to be AI fluent, AI literate, all right? We don't want you left behind. We don't want you feeling like you don't belong. We don't want your team grappling in the dark. There's this interesting image that I saw. It's an elephant, right? And all the people are blindfolded and they're touching the elephant. And the whole thing of that comment was, it all depends on your perspective. Like where you touch it, it's still an elephant, but what part did you touch? And you're going to come up with probably a different answer. All right. What part of this big AI elephant do you want to touch? Right. And this idea, AIQ, you need to get your IQ up. Remember we did EQ, right? We wanted people to have emotional intelligence, right? EI. Then we said social intelligence. Social intelligence, big time deal. Now it's AI intelligence. It's understanding how to balance those things, how to move forward with them. And here's the thing, we understand numbers, right? We understand companies having to come to this place where they say, well, we're going to have to get rid of this division over here. Well, could you reassess that and maybe create a whole new department with those same people and get them up to speed? We believe you can, and we believe that you should first. That would be your first step. So the question was layoffs or retrain. What's the best option? We don't have the answer, but we truly are invested in the answer of retrain. Keep your knowledge, keep your people, help them help you. So Dr. Ebony, what do you want to say as we get ready to close? We got 1.5 minutes.
I want to say first, thank you so much, Dwayne, in inviting me to have this conversation. It's so important that we get our organizations ready. Like you said, it's AI ready or AI obsolete. You have to choose, and you have to choose wisely. And there are resources out there who are certified. They are ready and willing and able to assist you to have the conversations. Again, I strongly say, like Dwayne stated, keep your talent, invest in who you have right now, and choose wisely. Choose wisely.
Outstanding. Well, hey, happy whatever you celebrate, Thanksgiving,
It's
just
almost
gathering,
time.
right? If that's what you celebrate, the fact is, in this nation here, we celebrate Thanksgiving, and it's the idea of giving thanks, right? So I want to say thank you to you, Dr. Ebony, for riding with me on this, right? And then thank you everyone who's viewing this, everyone who's commented, everyone who's commented afterwards, because I've seen some people comment in the comment after it was over. It was awesome to see that and hear that. And we are going to come back on December 3rd, which will be Wednesday, all right, with part 3 of this conversation. My name is Dwayne Ross, CEO of SkillVibes.net. You've been listening to myself and Dr. Ebony McClinton of Humanity First. Let's keep humanity. Let's keep humanity in AI. Let's upskill America in a way that values them. And let's make sure that we have this conversation from leadership to leadership, from
Absolutely.
individual to individual, from corporation to corporation, from sitting around at dinner before you say pass the rolls. Hey, take care, y'all. We'll see you, Dr. Ebony. Anything else?
That
Very
is
good.
all. Thank you so
That is
much,
good.
everyone. Enjoy
All
your
right.
holiday.
Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you on next Wednesday, same time, same channel, same live. Thank you, StreamYard, for this awesome platform, and have a great night. Take care, everybody.